a pleasant good evening. Welcome inside Cordy Stadium here in Edwardsville, Illinois. We've got Ohio Valley Conference women's soccer for you tonight as the defending tournament champion Lindenwood Lions are in town to face the SIUE Cougars. Joe Pott alongside Daniel Rodier, and for the Lindenwood Lions, they're getting everybody's best shot this year, Dan.
They are, and they've looked amazing in the OVC. 2-0-2 as of right now. They're right neck on neck with Tennessee Tech, a squad that has looked even better, arguably, and has already faced the Cougars. They've got another difficult facing ahead of them.
For the SIUE Cougars, coming off a win and a 3-goal performance on Sunday.
Yeah, they've got a big opposition in front of them. Mackenzie Compton, our player to watch, presented by Jostens, the official recognition company of the Ohio Valley Conference. A native of Wentzville, Missouri, she's the 2024 Ohio Valley Conference Tournament MVP. She's also the 2024 Freshman of the Year in the Ohio Valley Conference. Her accolade list is longer than a lot of actors' Wikipedia pages. That will continue into this season as a sophomore.
Long story short, you got to look out for her.
Absolutely. We'll see you on the other side as well. Zoe Boomiller, the player to watch for SIUE. She has looked superb for the Cougars. We'll see if that is the case. Hopefully this day. She's got her first start since August 28th against Drake. She started as a right back. I don't know if you see this on her lower third. That says left wing. She is not a right back today.
They're kind of preparing for, or they're covering for some injuries. We'll see what it looks like tonight. It's SIUE and it's Lindenwood. We've got the starting lineups and the opening kick coming right up from Edwardsville. It's coming up on ESPN.
Are you ready to take your money to new heights? Get a flexible high-yield checking account that lets you customize your interest rate so you can keep your finances headed in the right direction. With Elevate Checking from United Fidelity Bank, you're in control of how much you earn. You can raise your rate with a few easy steps. Get more ways to earn more with Elevate Checking and start earning 4.00% APY. Learn more at unitedfidelity.com/elevate or visit your local banking center.
In Kentucky, we're moving forward together. Our businesses are winning, and our families are thriving. Because Kentucky is a place where business is fast, but the pace of life is just right. Now, we're looking at a new Kentucky, one where good jobs and a good life are possible for everyone. Y'all interested? We don't blame you. So come explore your new Kentucky home.
What's it like to be a student athlete in the OVC? We rise to challenges and challenge others to rise with us. We show respect. We lead by example. In the OVC, we become champions on and off the field. That's OVC sports, and you've got to OVC it.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. We're big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. Strengthening our community since 1910. German American Bank.
Member FDIC. Ready for a local getaway that feels like a world of its own? Escape the ordinary and discover the charm of Southern Illinois. With local wineries, live concerts, farmers markets, and scenic trails to explore, there's an adventure tailored for every taste bud and passion. Our breathtaking lakes offer endless possibilities for adventure. Rent boats, jet skis, or kayaks, and explore our world. Visit Southern Illinois. Start your adventure today.
Back here in Edwardsville, where it's Lindenwood and SIUE tonight on a cool Thursday night in Edwardsville. We take a look at our goalies for this evening, and our goalies are brought to you by Team Kentucky. See, it's a good thing that's that right there. Come explore your new Kentucky home.
For Lindenwood, Caroline Ritter, the sophomore out of St. Louis, has the second most shutouts in the Ohio Valley Conference, only trailing Eastern Illinois. It kind of makes sense there at the top of this Ohio Valley. For SIUE, it is, well, as per usual, Sarah Bozeman. She's third in the Ohio Valley Conference in saves per game. Great for her, not great that she faces so many shots. throughout this season. She's a junior from Ohio.
She's back there somewhere, we promise.
Yeah, she's in the back corner. She's the only one wearing the full red kit. Let's take a quick look at our starting 11 on both sides. Starting things off for Lindenwood University. They're running a 3-5-2. If this feels rare, I promise it is. 3 across the back, including Anna Schrumpf. Schrumpf is a big part of this Lindenwood roster. For SIUE, the only real notable change, that's Zoe Boomiller, the left wing. Basically the same thing we saw last week and on Sunday. Boomiller, last time she started, as we mentioned, she was playing right back. She's now on the left wing, replacing Amanda Dean, who's injured.
Lindenwood wearing the full black kits tonight. SIUE will wear the white tops, the red shorts, and white socks. We are underway here. Again, it is a chilly night, especially considering we've had a lot longer of a Indian summer, whatever you want to call it. So we've had some warmer days in September, but it's going to feel like an October night here tonight as we go along in this one.
I believe the official number I saw earlier was 64 degrees. That's what my current Windows taskbar says. I think I'll trust that pretty close at least. It's going to get colder, though. Lows of 40 tonight. I'd imagine it gets down towards 50 by the end of this game.
Glad I'm not the one wearing shorts.
I know, right?
Jarvis Atanya is our referee for this evening's match. Jeffrey Partrillo, Jason Young. Those are your ARs.
Is that Karen Swanner again as the 4th official? I can't tell. She's hiding out behind one of our canopies.
I think yes. That one gets right into the 18-yard box, comes across the box there. I can't tell either at the moment, but I do believe it is.
It's Linda Keaton as our 4th official today. Looked very similar to Karen Swanner.
It does, yeah. Little shove there, no call as Lewis was trying to make the move up this left side and back the other way. Come the Lindenwood Lions with Bloom on the near side. I should say Blum on the near side. This is Compton now. Mackenzie Compton trying to cut it back. She lost it for a moment. She'll get it back. And then gives it away anyway. Now the Cougars with the counter opportunity. Naroda with a heck of a move right there just to elude her defender. And they're going up this left side. Hauser racing onto it. She's trying to cut it back to her right. Now back for her left. She does manage to get it through traffic. And she finds Naroda. Right back now, some room to lift that one into the box. It's not clear yet. Lewis almost putting it back in. How about Babb getting in on the mix? Babb's just going to let one go. There's another long attempt, but that'll go right to the 6 off the right foot of Anna Zakella, rather.
And one note for SIUE, we were talking about Zoe Boomiller being the left wing. That's not the case. It's actually Elena Hauser who's on the left side today. They've swapped. I don't know if they started on one side and swapped immediately, but it looks like they have completely switched sides. Zoe Boomiller now the right wing today. It's Elena Hauser on the left.
Opportunity here, racing into the box is Johnson. She'll keep it on this right side, trying to pull it back. She's pulled down, and SIUE has committed a foul just outside the 18.
That's not a rarity for SIUE. They are one of the leaders in the Ohio Valley Conference and across most of the NCAA. They lead the Ohio Valley Conference in fouls total and fouls per game. And I'm going to be honest, it's not particularly close between them and second place.
This is a tough one, too, Dan. This is coming just outside the box.
That is even with the penalty spot on a horizontal plane.
Like literally, yeah, it is. It is right there.
Some quick Pythagorean theorem math will tell you that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 23, maybe 24 yards.
You can have all the Pythagorean theorem math. I will let you have all of it.
18.
I won't get into any of it.
Something 18 yards one way, 12 the other. They teach that in geometry still, right?
I have no idea. I will trust, like I said, it's all you. So a step over there. Jackson will bring it right back. And it's coming right in and way high off the left foot of Anna Johnson.
That's a very creative set piece. Anna Johnson goes unmarked as she fakes being the person taking the kick. Usually when players are taking those marks inside the area, they're focused on players not around the ball. You're not focused on a player right next to the ball. She steps over, moves out of the way. That's a very reasonable opportunity from 23, 24 yards out or so, just above the 18. That's a good opportunity to start things off from Lindenwood in an otherwise difficult spot to play a free kick. Despite the fact it's 23 or 24 yards out, there's no easy way to put that on goal.
Now the Cougars will try to get something started here on the counter. They had Naroda free to run, but they couldn't get it to her. Now we'll ping-pong it back and forth in the midfield a little bit before it comes out to this left side. That's Sutter who played it back in, but it's coming back the other way again. And look at Hauser with some space there all the way to the end line. Hauser gets that right foot cross in, but there is Ritter out right to the edge of the 6 to take it away.
You and I had a conversation with head coach Derek Burton. Their goal around the area is to create chaos. Those crosses from well beyond the 18 don't create enough difficulty for this starting goalie for Lindenwood, Caroline Ritter. Ritter seems to be very good at stopping those shots when she has a clear way to the ball. If they can create chaos, maybe create a rebound opportunity, that's how you're going to create your opportunities if you're the Cougars today.
Yep, aggressive, lots of action. He used the term buzzing around. They want exactly as you said.
Do they know they're the Cougars, not the Hornets?
Get everything going around the box, certainly around the 6 when there's those opportunities to do so.
That's why I transferred away. I didn't want to be the Hornets anymore.
Didn't want to be a Hornet?
I went to Shenandoah for a semester.
And they're the Hornets?
They are.
All right. Here's Compton pushing it right through for Johnson again. Now they tried to go back outside, but it eluded Blum. Actually, I think it was tipped. It'll stay with Lindenwood here, so they'll throw.
Lindenwood creating another pretty good opportunity up this right side. Despite the way their formation looks, they're not playing an arrow to the SIUE goal. They're playing an arrow towards their own goal. They're leaving their wings a little higher, giving themselves a few more opportunities if they can find them. Savannah Defini, a victim of a handball. That one bounced off her knee to her arm, but immediately controlling it back down. Unfortunate call against the Cougars there.
So this one coming just above midfield here for Lindenwood. We're 7 minutes in here to the first half. And comes right to the top of the 18. It's flicked on, and a shot goes off the side of the cage. Good opportunity, just got a little deep in there before they got the shot away.
Sarah Bozeman good at spacing out the far side of that post, making sure a shot had to come from distance, and again an awkward angle. It's like trying to shoot from the goal line. Put a good arc on it or it's not going to have a chance of going in the back of the net. Maybe another missed opportunity there for Lindenwood, but SIUE on a goal kick no less. They've got a shot at the left side here. No. Lena Hauser, I do not believe, will win that race. That wasn't even Elena. No, it was Elena Hauser. Okay, she turned the wrong direction. Even threw me off for a second.
Long, high kick. But again, it's roughly a 50-50 ball pretty much anytime you put it in the air. Now the Cougars had possession for a brief moment. Roberts tried to turn that away, and she didn't quite get it clear. So now it's Lindenwood on the push again. And they'll get it right into the middle. There's a long drive, but it's well off the mark. That one came again from Anna Johnson.
One thing watching this Cougar team for the last month and a half, I think the number one thing I can identify that they've improved upon is winning those 50-50 balls. Early in the season, you could look at that and say it's a 70-30 ball and not in favor of the Cougars. But I'd say ever since even the Tennessee Tech game, probably a week or so before that, they've looked really good in the midfield. They would really only win their defensive 50-50s because it was Anna Zakella and Audrey Roberts. Those are the only two that were continuously winning 50-50 balls. Now everybody stepped up, and it's really turned the entire team over.
Here's Boomiller now trying to get something started on the right side for the Cougars. And her cross was deflected out. We're going to get the first.
Not only does Zoe Boomiller win the corner, she's usually the one who takes them anyway. She's already in a pretty good spot for it. Doesn't have to run to the other side of the field.
Shouldn't have to get right.
Took 15 steps and is ready to swing her right foot.
Well, everybody, any coach will tell you that if they can get something started on a set piece, they want to be good on set pieces. Derek Burton told us that tonight as well. That comes to the top of the box. Babb's got a clear shot at it, and she'll instead go back outside with it. And Boomiller's going to give it another chance. Across the goal, headed, but just off the mark. Not done yet. Allie Fishering had a one-time attempt, and now the Cougars don't want to get caught with too few defenders back. They'll play it back for Bozeman.
It was Audrey Roberts who had that header. It deflected off a defender. She actually had a chance at that one, but just a bare missed opportunity and really good spacing for the Lions. Probably saves them a goal there from so close range.
Here's Ritter again out of Neerinks Hall in St. Louis. In the Webster Groves area.
Good turn by Emick.
Yep. Pulled that down to herself. Gets something started and a little room to run there for Babb. Here's Emick again. Ooh, she tried to turn and she got stripped. Kanoyer stripped it, but they come all the way through and Bozeman will have an easy play on it. Out wide for Fishering. Fishering literally turning her defending player around there a couple of times. Cougars lost it. Sutter plays it in for the Lions, but this is Naroda. Naroda battling there with Rogenkamp. There'll be a free kick coming up for Lindenwood.
Told you at the top, 4 or so minutes into this game, fouls are not going to be a rarity. As SIUE commits another one there. It's already their second, 10 or so minutes into this one.
Throw coming just in front of the SIUE coaches there. And it really didn't do anything for SIUE. And so now it'll be Lindenwood to try to build out of the back. Dodd lost it, so here come the Cougars again. This is Naroda. She scored a goal on Sunday on a free kick. Cougars hadn't scored in nearly 500 minutes of gameplay. And they scored 3 on Sunday.
Felt like that UT Martin Lindenwood thing we were talking about. Around about the time that was a conversation on our news and notes, where Lindenwood and UT Martin traded 5 goals back and forth.
Let's take a look at those keys to the match. They're presented by the German American Bank, technology backed by people at German American Bank. For Lindenwood, we had a great conversation, by the way, with Dave Musso, last year's Coach of the Year in the OVC. But he was talking to us, and we mentioned this in the Open just a little bit. Everybody is taking their best shot at Lindenwood, the tournament champ from a year ago.
And for good reason. There's no squad that looked better coming out of the gates than Lindenwood, both on the men's and women's side. And here on the women's side especially, they've had some challenges, but they've started to try and overcome them. They haven't been able to do so at 2-0-2 thus far in the OVC.
Oh, it banged off the top. It hit the crossbar. And then it's pushed out of play, so a corner coming. Quick look there for the Cougars. They want to make Sunday a jumping-off point.
Well, Claire Naroda very well helped in favor of a follow-up goal. She had an assist, I believe, in that game as well against Western Illinois. Was looking to add to that accolade.
So here is the corner coming from this left side. Second corner of the game for SIUE. This one coming right to the top of the 6. It's headed away pretty cleanly there. Nicely defended by Lindenwood. They at least have the opportunity to step out. That was Jackson, by the way, heading that away. That's DeFeeney redirecting one right into the 6.
That's a great ball from Fishering, winning the foot race, getting it to Elena Hauser. Hauser takes 2 touches, turns, and zings one to the top of the area. DeFeeney's only option there was try and head it onward. She really couldn't get a settling touch with all that many defenders around her. Hey, put the header on, hope something happens.
Well, and that's the other thing that one of the points that Derek Burton made, and one of the things that we talked about on Sunday, as Lindenwood makes a push again, they'll glide it right through for Sutter. Lily Sutter trying to put it on, and it's blocked away. That was Roberts back to block it away. I was going to say, though, is that they want to take chances. SIUE does. We saw Savannah DeFini score from a long range simply by putting a ball on frame.
I think I said this exact thing on Sunday, which was just take the shot.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to put something on, especially when SIUE was having difficulties putting goals in the back of the net. That has changed and turned over. SIUE's already in this game played with a lot more confidence in the offensive side. We'll see now with this corner if they're looking to play short again for Lindenwood, or if it's just going to be a tap between the two of them.
Johnson and Jackson, the two on the ball there for Lindenwood, I should say. Jackson will take it. She'll send it across the 6, and it's headed out, but almost put right back in. And now the Cougars can breathe. They push it out almost to midfield, dumped right back in by Dodd.
Zakella again to win 2 separate headers there, the one we just saw and the one on the corner as well. One of the taller players on most fields. That continues here.
Here come the Cougars again. This is Boomiller. Room on the right side. Thought about cutting in. She'll keep it outside the box. Nicely defended there by Elise Lamb, by the way, pushing that outside, not allowing Boomiller to turn it in.
Fisher again in a foot race.
Yeah. I thought she was just going to wind up, too, for a second. Hauser trying to keep it. It'll go to the end line and out. It's going to be a corner.
Oh, Lindenwood's not happy about this one. You could see a very slow saunter into that corner. And that, again, is Lily Sutter, who we saw in this close side earlier. She's not particularly happy this is a corner and vehemently disagrees, but only for about 2 seconds before she realized she wasn't changing the referee's mind.
It's corner number 3 coming up for SIUE now. Here it comes, right to the spot. Headed away again, and can Lindenwood create something off of this? They have pushed a number of times from that end. Rogenkamp just sending it up this right side here before it's taken away by Allie Fishering.
Allie Fishering is looking to become the track star that Amanda Dean is missing out on today. She's out with an injury that has really developed over the last couple weeks, and a bit of speed missing for the SIUE front 4. That's the reason Hauser's on the left. That's the reason Boomiller's getting the start, her first again since August. This has been a big miss for SIUE in the first 15 or so minutes, but it looks like Fishering and company are making up for that.
Yeah, you mentioned that injury. Dean, as you said, Derek Burton kind of told us that it's been something that's kind of been building up. It's gotten worse. She had a really good game on Sunday as well. She was involved in a lot of the attack on Sunday. So now knowing what we know is she was likely doing that in some pretty significant discomfort.
And Coach Derek Burton said he's got 7 players out.
7 out.
2 of them most recently since that Western Illinois game, including Kristen Keller, the backup goalkeeper.
That one put right in by Rogenkamp. Across the top of the box. And a spin there by Jackson. Jackson had it taken away. Babb was back. They're not out of trouble yet. Compton laying it off in the box. And that's blocked away.
What a win by Zakella again. Basically the only reason SIUE hasn't let in 2 goals now, including that header winner on the corner earlier. She's been the staunch standard for the SIUE back 4. That continues.
Lindenwood not easing, though. Knoyer has a lot of room. She's coming all the way near side for Sutter. Lily Sutter hits one with the right foot, and it's saved away. It'll be a corner coming up for the Lions.
Lily Sutter's shot looked like one of those old FIFA World Cup shots with those Adidas balls that had problems with aerodynamics. Just a knuckler that dipped right. That or it was a screwball from her right foot. Either way, Bozeman seemingly had trouble holding on to it, so just put her hands out, made sure it didn't go in the back of the net. That's the first thing you got to focus on. Most teams, by the way, on these corner kicks will step at the top of the area. I count at least 5 Lions standing on the goal line, including 2 right around Bozeman. Nobody is keeping Bozeman safe from Lions.
That one's going back post, headed over the bar. What an opportunity. That's a perfect ball to the back post. The header was just a little bit up. Schrumpf. That was Allison Schrumpf there, up from the back line.
She's virtually playing the exact role we're seeing from Anna Zakella and maybe sometimes Audrey Roberts on those set pieces. Just a ball to the back post, try and get a head on it.
And, by the way, you're trying to head a ball that is in the air. You're trying to direct it back down. You got to get up over that, and she just missed.
It is very similar to getting over top of a kick you're trying to take from well outside the 18. And it can be difficult in a ball that's falling down. You don't know exactly where you're going to make contact with it. That's the impressiveness of the height that Cristiano Ronaldo plays with most of the time for those headers. A couple missed opportunities for Lindenwood on those back posts. I can't imagine if they get the opportunity, they're going to miss a third time.
20 minutes gone here in this first half. A scoreless game. Shots right now are 6-2 in favor of the Lions.
One conversation you and I have had a lot this season is the women's team having issues with winning the shots game, whether it's shots on goal or shots period. Last week against Western, they did so much better than virtually every game they've played up to that point. Now, I don't know about a regression, but certainly a slow start on the offensive side. But I'll remind you, Lindenwood's had a couple corners, a couple shots on goal off of a set piece or two. That number can very quickly turn on its head.
Throw coming up for SIUE. It's Fishering there right at midfield to toss it in for Hauser. And look out here. A break on the other side. It's Compton
she overran it.
She did. She's going to try to turn it back, and instead she'll leave it. Top of the box, long shot, deflected. What a save. Bozeman had to leave her feet. It remains scoreless for the moment, and Sarah Bozeman's been really strong tonight.
That continues from their game against Western. She had a lot of shots put on goal, at least a lot of good shots put on. She had difficulties handling one from beyond the area. The rest, she was virtually perfect. Today, already saving one really dangerous ball, a second one that could have turned into a problem. Now look at the back post for Lindenwood. They've got 5 players in the back post and still 2 around Bozeman on the goal line.
Rachel Jackson, the senior out of O'Fallon, Missouri, to deal again. Right to the back of the 6 this time. And another one from distance is going to go high.
Awkward touch from Babb, I believe it was, as she turned around trying to just put her foot on it and kick it away from danger. She actually put it into more danger, and there's no way for her to know that. Danger on the back post, danger at the top corner of the 18, danger everywhere. Danger Ghost Rider is what they'd say in the military.
Bozeman taking her time. This one's coming to this near side where the traffic is. It was Johnson who won that header, but it was out of play, so the Cougars will toss it in.
SIUE with a bit more difficulty building out of the midfield today compared to what we saw versus Western Illinois. The one real change is the fact that Lindenwood is running 5 full in the midfield with only 3 back. Those flexible wing backs playing everything from right wing to full right back. And it's difficult for SIUE to adjust to that. We had that same conversation with Derek Burton, playing between the backs, playing between your center defensive midfielder if you need to. If you're Lindenwood, they've really controlled the midfield in that fashion because of their 5 full.
Hauser was trying to let that come across more, and she couldn't bring it down, bring it under control, and we're going to get a foul just outside the center circle on the defensive side of midfield for Lindenwood. They'll have the restart from there.
4th foul for SIUE. Again, averaging a shade over 7.5 this season.
By the way, these 2 men's teams, they are playing at Lindenwood tonight, so they are literally playing, it is almost the same exact minutes.
Who did that scheduling, by the way?
They're in tonight. So the men are out in St. Charles. SIUE also looking for its 2nd consecutive OVC win there after winning on Sunday here. Lindenwood is unbeaten entirely this season, though, on the men's side.
Reminder back to homecoming. That was a 2-0 win for Lindenwood. That was September 27th, a rare Saturday OVC game.
Just for homecoming purposes.
Hauser, the left wing, had to trail all the way back inside the 18. Just decided get rid of it. Given the fact she's one of 4 top players, she knew there wasn't really an outlet.
Little flick, nice flick down though by Compton. We get a foul there, a little shove from Anna Johnson. Cougars will restart it from inside the 18.
Good win for Audrey Roberts. She started low, and I think that's really what threw off Anna Johnson as she came across. Johnson kind of jumped up for the header, not realizing Roberts was trying to play it low with her head already, and just kind of landed on her. Turned around, seemed to be apologetic, good sportsmanship as she ran away.
Bozeman sends this right across the midfield, and it's taken away. Now can they get a run out of Anna Johnson? She almost overran it, and ultimately she did overrun it, so the Cougars have it back.
A touch from Boomiller in the midfield just to turn that one down.
And she's going to try to play it right through DeFeeney, who comes back with it, and then they'll work to this left side. Hauser trying to beat her defender. Hauser had it deflected out. Another corner coming up for SIUE.
SIUE Cougars working around injuries. Hauser playing on the left wing for the first time really this season. She has been up the right side the entire time. With the lack of Amanda Dean, they need a left foot, and that's what Elena Hauser was trying to pull off there. At least got good contact with it and turned it into a corner. We'll see what she can do now with her right foot from the corner kick.
4th of the night for SIUE. And it's a low drive towards the near post, headed back her way. She'll come get it. Time for another cross. She puts this one at the outside edge of the 6. That's Roberts chasing it down on the backside.
She does not have somebody back for her, by the way.
I was going to say, that's exactly what I was going to say. That means there's an opening. And a run down that left side by Ava Blum. And that's Zakella who got back to end that threat. First sub coming on tonight, Tasneem Dizdarevic. She was the second team All-OVC pick last year and a newcomer team as well.
And she played for the both U17 and U19 Bosnia and Herzegovina national teams.
She's a St. Louis native. Most people probably don't know there is a huge Bosnian population in St. Louis.
Great slide down the corner again. Defense stepping up in a big way. It kind of helps when your right wing is played right back for a considerable part of the season. That was Zoe Boomiller who made the slide down there. Semi Roggenkamp, by the way, is the sub off in place of Dizdarevic entering.
Corner kick coming up for the Lions. This is number 4 for the Lions. We've got 8 already between these two teams.
Around about 30 minutes or so, we're on for a lot of corners.
This one in swinging, and it was, in fact, too far. It hit the side of the net, the outside of the net.
That was Dizdarevic as the second player alongside the corner. The flexibility of Lindenwood, putting 2 players along that corner kick. They did it on that free kick as well, setting up a short play. It forces an extra SIUE Cougar out of the area, which means somebody from the forward team, whether it's DeFeeney, in that case Boomiller, we saw Hauser join earlier, has to then enter the area. Even if SIUE wins the header, even if they have a ball to then turn out and turn into the midfield, they don't have as quick of a counterattack because their attackers are sitting inside of the area, and their own area no less.
And here comes Lindenwood again. Dizdarevic pushing it near side now for Sutter.
Good physical play by Mary Claire Imig, forcing them not only back, but all the way back to their center back, no less, and forcing a turnover as well.
And here comes Naroda with some room. Claire Naroda. She actually ended up playing it off a defender. A fortunate bounce and a long drive coming, but it's wide of the goal from Boomiller.
Boomiller was going to get cut off anyway. Another really best option for SIUE. The issue they've had is a lot of their best options have not particularly been good options thus far. Official shots now. I don't even know if they're going to call that a shot.
Yeah, I think so. I would have. It was.
Assuming they do.
They did.
Shots are 8-3. Lindenwood very much leading.
Dizdarevic, her cross was deflected into the 18-yard box. And then headed back in there by Sutter. Sutter's got another chance to put it in. Shouldn't have much behind it there. And Roberts kind of stumbled as she was coming out of the box.
They were looking for Defini at the top, couldn't find her there. Thought Boomiller was going to have an option on the backside. No luck, and I think Bozeman will make, I don't know if it's the easiest save of her career, but at least we'll be able to hold on to this for an extra second to give the back four of SIUE and really the midfield who's been moving up and down a break. No subs for SIUE now 30 minutes into the game. They're about to have one. That's Taryn Moore sitting at midfield.
Bozeman keeping on this left side. It'll take 2 bounces and get out of play. So a quick Lindenwood throw coming up. Little flick on from Dizdarevic. Compton over her back. And then it's just cleared away by Mary Claire Emig. Can Defini run onto it? Defini trying to cut into the box. Defini to the back post. Oh, she rolled it just wide of that back post. First of all, give her credit because I didn't think she was going to get to that ball. I thought it was just a clearance up the field from Mary Claire Emig, and Savannah Defini just turned on the afterburners.
I was thinking either it's going to be easily won by one of the back three for Lindenwood, or Caroline Ritter's going to come out and play it. Ritter held in her area, but she had really good spacing between the pipes, making sure she didn't make a mistake on the back post, didn't leave that as wide open as it may have seemed from our camera angle. And Defini had to perfectly place that. She just barely missed. Taryn Moore, by the way, comes on. That was Claire Naroda who steps off.
This one coming back. Compton with a little collision there with Roberts.
Looked like it hurt. I thought she rolled over the ball.
It looked rough. That's a dangerous deflection. It's going to get out of play for a corner coming up for Lindenwood now.
Corner kick, Lindenwood.
Lindenwood thus far has been one of the better teams at creating opportunities off of just what looks like a benign flick on. We see this a lot where a team will just try and flick a ball over with their head or just kind of stick a foot out and move it on. Not very often do they turn into dangerous opportunities, especially in the women's game. Men are a little bit more consistent with that with balls in the air. Here, they've looked great early on in this matchup, and it's forced SIUE to panic a couple times, including their forcing out another corner.
Rachel Jackson delivers to the 6, headed away by SIUE, flicked out by Taryn Moore.
Zakella again to win the header, by the way.
Look at the speed on the right side there from Zoe Boomiller. She nearly closed that out. Here comes Lindenwood again. Compton on that far side. Compton with a good turn, trying to get it to the left. No one home when she did get the cross in there.
Boomiller actually looking for Defini here. Again, Defini nearly running onto that one. If it stayed in play, she would have had an argument to get there in time.
I can't tell you how close these games are. The men's game and this women's game are almost to the second.
Scheduled for the exact same time.
That means both schools did a good job game operations-wise, getting those games started right on time.
The most undervalued part of the game happening is the game operations team. We very much appreciate them here as a broadcast team. They allow us to do what we do on the correct timetable. Olivia Watt enters. Mary Claire Emig will step off. So Olivia Watt plays one of those two center defensive mid positions in the 4-2-3-1 for SIUE. But that's impressive. Our colleagues over at Lindenwood as well, both on the broadcast and here on the game ops team, looking really good.
Totally good.
Yay, us in the OVC.
That's exactly right. About 12 minutes left in this one, a little bit more. Lewis trying to race on there, but ultimately she didn't. Boomiller does get a shot away, but she puts it wide.
A couple more subs now entering. For Lindenwood, it's Maddie Vasilov. She'll take over the role of Anna Johnson, who we saw earlier. And on that far side, that's Kylie Peel stepping on for what looks to be Kaylee Conoyer. That ball just barely out of play. SIUE is going to win the throw anyway, despite the fact they had ball control. Sure, Elena Hauser would have liked to have that one on her feet, but she's not that lucky. Fishering a late touch. I think she was looking for Taryn Moore, one of the first times you would have seen Moore active since she got subbed in. Just barely off a lion foot. Another throw for the Cougars.
Dangerous ball here, but there's going to be a foul right at the midfield.
Compton wins a header there. Zakella didn't really see her over her shoulder. Compton looks like she's made contact somewhere around the header neck area. Promise this is not a college football game. She's currently grabbing her chin. She'll step off as the training staff for Lindenwood, making the short drive over from St. Charles, is able to take a look over at her. Hope she's all right. Not sure if Lindenwood already made a sub for her. They did not. We're about to see that now. They're looking to make sure they can make that sub. They can. So that's number 8, Peyton Hatfield. And Lindenwood didn't remember, hey, we need to put an 11th player on the field. They were ready to take the free kick. So Peyton Hatfield takes over the role of Mackenzie Compton.
That one comes right to the top, and it's headed. It's headed on by Jackson initially.
DeFini overruns it. SIUE still going to win at the midfield. They need to make sure they build out of the midfield. They have to, just to DeFini, who's going to have to slow down and gets climbed on top of.
Definitely did. Dodd was over her back for sure. So we get to the final 10 minutes here in this first half, and it looks like they're going to sub on Mackenzie Compton. She's coming right back in.
Hey, credit where it's due. Savannah DeFini had a great cosplay of the jungle gym. Halloween's a couple weeks away, and she then gets a shoulder square to her back. That time around, courtesy of Jessica Dodd. And doesn't seem like Derek Burton's all that thrilled about the fact that it took a middle linebacker-esque shoulder to draw the whistle here for SIUE.
So the free kick will be handled by Anna Zakella, the freshman out of Parkway West in West St. Louis.
Leads the team in assists, 3 already on the season.
She'll send that into the 18. One header, I think it was DeFini initially. And now Dizdarevic going to try to start something from the counter. The Cougars not having it. They're going to try to go right back the other way. DeFini with a little hold-up play. Now she'll send it outside to Boomiller. Boomiller's cross, knocked out of play. Corner coming up.
I cannot speak enough to the extent that Zoe Boomiller helps the right wing of SIUE. Having a right back that plays as a very good winger, she's able to fall back in time, make a good defensive play in transition, and then because she's a right winger, she's right back in position to deal with the ball she just took over. She wins yet another corner on that right side.
Smart play by DeFini to hold up a half second to let her get up and make that run. This one comes out to the top. That's Hauser right there, racing it down. Back out for Boomiller. Here comes another cross, and it's over the head of the goalkeeper. Oh, my goodness. I think that Ritter just got her hands to it initially.
She reached up and she won the battle in the air, but she didn't realize the ball was still carrying over her head, dropped it to her feet, and was lucky the Cougars didn't take her hand off.
For sure. And lucky that they didn't pounce on that rebound like that. This is Dizdarevic losing it there. Babb for SIUE across midfield for DeFini. Look at that dish as well. She's really good with her back to goal as well.
That's been something she's been forced to do a lot this season. A lot better the last couple of weeks where she hasn't been in that position. But even when she is back in that spot, she's really good. That'll continue here as she goes back to Moore.
To DeFini. Moore will go outside now. A shot from the top of the box from Boomiller is blocked. She's going to try to get another cross in, and it's another corner kick coming up thanks to the work of Zoe Boomiller. It's number 6 coming up tonight. Oh, that's 5. Nope, that's 6. Trust your instinct.
So many repeated corner kicks for SIUE. It's hard to keep track of which one's the most recent.
But you've made the point several times. That's not by accident. It's coming from the work of Zoe Boomiller on that right side.
And Boomiller now we'll go back out to the right. I believe that's Zoe Boomiller.
That's Hauser out on the corner.
It is not. That is Elena Hauser.
That's
so they've
Hauser out on the
swapped
corner.
roles.
Yep.
Zoe Boomiller just above the 18.
So Hauser spins one into the top of the 6. Oh, Boomiller's out there again. That's her at the top of the box, but Lindenwood going to try to break from there. Defense playing a high line. Babb keeps it in a dangerous spot for SIUE. So the Cougars with some extended possession here and some dangerous opportunities. DeFeeney with a little flick outside again. Here comes the short cross, but out to get it is Ritter.
Talking about the stature of Lindenwood in their own flicks. Not only was it a good flick from DeFeeney, but before that, to even get to her, it was Zoe Boomiller who used her head to do so. That's how you use your brain outside of academics here as student athletes.
Just inside of 6 to play here in this first half. A couple of subs on.
As mentioned, Compton will re-enter. She's able to because she left for an injury, assuming she re-enters for the same player, which I believe she is. Yes, she is.
Yeah, she's on for Hatfield.
There's Ava Bloom now off. Ryan Ward
Yep.
took her spot.
Sophomore who was from literally down the road in Columbia, Illinois, so right down 255. But she also was a Nearings Hall alum.
Evidently time for hockey line changes here, Ralph.
Well,
Gordon
Hatfield,
Stadium.
now this is interesting because Hatfield is coming right
Yep.
back on.
Gotta love the formalities of soccer.
That's right.
Hatfield was a temporary sub, had to be 1-for-1 replaced by Compton. So then she has not used her original entrance,
That's right.
so she can enter for the first time.
That's right.
Gotta love it.
Hatfield's coming in for Rachel Jackson, who was very heavily involved in those build-up plays and a lot of the corners and set pieces that Lindenwood had in that first half.
SIUE, by the way, Aaliyah Meinhardt, who we saw a lot against Western Illinois. She took over for Elena Hauser up this left side.
Goal scorer on Sunday.
Another corner kick.
Number 6 now for Lindenwood. So it's 12 combined with 4 minutes to play in the first half.
They are on track as they were with 15 minutes to go. There is slated to be 48 corner kicks in this game if this continues.
That sounds about right. This one right into the 6, headed away by the Cougars. Not completely cleared of yet. Little half volley back in, and Bozeman wisely lets that one bounce out over the end line so she can restart with a goal kick.
A lot of goalies would rather play that on the floor or in their hands. I think it's about 50-50 for Bozeman. She has a pretty good right foot on the ground. She usually opts to drop kick it anyway. So most of the time it is really a coin flip. She'll get this to about midfield, if not just before.
With about 3 minutes to play, Meinhardt able to turn that upfield. DeFeeney giving chase. It's coming all the way back for Ritter, who just one times it out and out of play. And SIUE will have a throw coming up.
It's a good forced issue for SIUE. DeFeeney especially. Just turn on the afterburners and force a mistake. Not giving a whole lot of space to move and really ruminate on the defensive side, especially for Caroline Ritter. You said it, the one time out of play. Not a whole lot doing for the defense of Lindenwood.
Moore trying to keep it in play on the end line.
She was actually trying to force a corner kick.
Yes, correct. So she ultimately did keep it in play, but she would have rather had it deflected out of play. You're right.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a soccer ball, it seems.
2:25 to play as Lindenwood makes a push here. Down that far sideline, that'll get out over the end line. It's a goal kick coming up for SIUE.
Masterclass on how to win the ball without touching the ball there for Taylor Babb, who just held on to positioning up the right side.
Junior out of Ladue High School in St. Louis, who has now been really a mainstay in the defensive line, the back line for SIUE. This is game number 46, start number 39 in her career back there.
It was really a coin flip between her and Boomiller to start off the season at right back. They were interchangeable both as starters and during the course of play. But since Boomiller's picked up the wing duties, it has really been Babb holding up the backside.
DeFeeney into the box. Ritter was coming way off her line and quick, and another corner is coming up. That's Connor back there defending for Lindenwood. She had just come in for Jessica Dodd.
Winning a foot race against Stefana DeFeeney is a victory in and of itself.
Right.
Another corner kick forced here for SIUE, and we are just outside a minute to play.
So do the Cougars have something cooking here late? It's a low drive, top of the 6, and
that's unfortunate.
There's a handball in there.
It was.
Yeah.
Looked like it hit the arm of DeFeeney after being flicked on by a Lion. Not expecting the rebound and missed opportunity. Lindenwood tried to play that a little quicker than they would have been allowed to, and it's because they took an extra 10 yards. Trying to play it from a few yards behind the 18 when the handball was on the 6-yard line.
I would never expect a soccer player to try to change the position of a free kick or a throw-in or anything like that.
General rule of thumb, you'll get like 3 or 4 yards. 5 if you're on the defensive third.
Just don't try to push much more than that.
Yeah, if you take 11, that's a bit much.
Double digits is pushing it.
I think so. If you're going between different colored grass.
3, 5 are okay. 11, probably not.
No.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
If the grass changes,
if the grass changes colors
in your route of placing the ball down, you've probably gone too far.
8, 7.
Well, that free kick is essentially the last play of this half. Compton will come down with it. She will let one go, but it's well off the mark. Actually, it went right to Bozeman, but it was not a dangerous attempt, and we'll go to halftime here in Edwardsville. This one is scoreless between SIUE and the defending champs in the Ohio Valley Conference. That's Lindenwood. We're at half. It is scoreless, and we're coming back. We've got plenty to do here at halftime. Joe Pod, Daniel Rodier coming back. It's OVC Soccer on ESPN. Welcome back into Edwardsville at Cordy Stadium. Joe Pott alongside Daniel Roedier. It's halftime here in Edwardsville. A scoreless game. We've seen opportunities from both sides, Dan, but nobody's yet put in the back of the net.
No, and these opportunities have really been about the same on both sides. And I think the numbers alone will tell that story, but the players, if you asked them, would say the exact same thing. Everybody's been going back and forth. We've seen a whole host of players, basically church congregations inside of the 18-yard boxes on both sets of corners.
Well, let's take a look at those numbers. It's time to take a look at those halftime stats. That's presented by United Fidelity Bank. United Fidelity Bank serving their community since 1914.
The shots total are the same, and they actually match our total corner kicks. That's a very rare occasion here, at least at Cordy Stadium. Shots on goal for Lindenwood are sitting at 2-0. Shots total 8-5 in favor of Lindenwood. SIUE leading the corner kick battle. But the one thing that we've missed today that I think the corner kicks have led to a lot more in previous games for SIUE is succeeding on various styles of corner kicks. We've seen them vary up their set piece game in and out of Cordy Stadium. And early in the season, no less, I think they looked a little bit better than they did today.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think that this feels like one of those games where it might only take an opportunity or, one or two opportunities. And we saw that considerably with Western Illinois, where they were down on the shot side, but they made those shots count. And when they did, they ended up putting it in the back of the net. Now, for SIUE, they had gotten up by 2 goals before that happened, but that's the danger you have when you're not finishing off some of those opportunities.
Fouls are 5-3, technically against SIUE. They lead in a stat you don't want to be leading in.
Yeah,
however, that's a stat they've been leading in, like I said, for most of the season. They lead the Ohio Valley Conference in fouls per game. They are not miles above everybody else, but they have 124 fouls coming into today across 13 games. That's a lot of fouls, if I'm doing my homework on that front. Let's also take a look in the Ohio Valley Conference as a whole at our standings up to this point. Now, notably, this is controlled not only by your win percentage or loss percentage, but also by points you gather. Wins 3 points, tie is 1 point, and you could really replace all that by winning percentage because that encompasses all of it, but it looks a little prettier if we do it this way.
They're looking at the points. You are exactly right, and I think what's interesting here is you look at a team like Tennessee Tech, who both of these teams tonight now, Lindenwood and SIUE, have both seen Tennessee Tech. SIUE played to a scoreless draw with the Golden Eagles here in this stadium. Lindenwood just recently got beat by Tennessee Tech in a 4-1 score. Before that, Tennessee Tech beat Western Illinois 6-1. So they got into conference play, and they have really turned it on here since getting into conference play.
Yeah, for SIUE as well, coming into today, they had already faced against not a full amount of the upper echelon of this Ohio Valley Conference, but a considerable portion of it. Eastern Illinois, a team they faced to open up the Ohio Valley Conference season. That's a nightmare, especially given their overall record up until that point. Tennessee Tech, a squad they've already seen. And their life is going to get a lot easier in the near future. A win over Western Illinois has really solidified that point.
By the way, the top 8 in the OVC get into postseason play. We'll take a break. We're coming back here to Edwardsville. It's a scoreless one at halftime between Lindenwood and SIUE. This is OVC Soccer on ESPN. Back in Edwardsville, Joe Pott, Daniel Roedier. Scoreless game here between the SIUE Cougars and the Lindenwood Lions as we take a look at the rest of the league in the OVC News and Notes.
Yeah, it is something that has finally ended on the second front, and one that really started during our coverage of play last week. Eastern Illinois has lost their scoreless stretch. It had extended to the fourth longest in Ohio Valley Conference history. That is opponents being scoreless. Against them, Southern Indiana has finally shut that down. You saw a 4-0-1 standing for them in the Ohio Valley Conference. That is because they just drew even with Southern Indiana 1-1. In clutch performance, SEMO's Emily Baker had 2 second-half goals against UT Martin. We were talking about this last week. Oh, yeah, UT Martin's got this one in the bag. Maybe it's a tie at the tail end of things. They scored 2 goals in 15 minutes to turn what would have been a 1-0 loss into a 2-1 win.
Late magic, and the OVC Championship, of course, this year is set for the 30th of October through the 9th. Start on campus sites. Head to that #1 seed to finish things off.
Let's take a look at our upcoming schedules in the near future for both of these rosters. Those are presented by the Sunbelt Bakery, the tastiest flavors under the sun. Lindenwood heads to Western Illinois, will host Eastern Illinois, and then heads to Southern Indiana. Game of back and forth across the crossroads of America and Illinois. I don't know what the state motto is on that front, only because I've crossed through Indianapolis 14 times on I-70. Not a whole lot of ease of access for them in the near future. Eastern and Southern is going to be a very difficult combo of opponents within 4 days of each other.
And here's the other thing, as we take a look at the SIUE upcoming schedule, is that we're not far off from the end of the schedule in the regular season, because after Moorhead State, you've got one more game for SIUE. They've got UT Martin on the road to finish it off on the 26th. For Lindenwood, they'll finish it off on Sunday the 26th at Little Rock. But you're talking about, I mean, it in some ways feels like we've just started conference play, but we're that close. We're 2 weeks basically away from finishing off the regular season in the OVC.
Southern Indiana, a common opponent between these two in the next couple weeks, and then SIUE, of course, will host SEMO here on the 16th. It is back-to-back double headers for men's and women's soccer next Thursday and Sunday. We'll have that all here for you from Cordy Stadium. Apart from women's soccer, however, we've got a lot of stuff going on for both Lindenwood and SIUE outside of women's soccer here on ESPN. As of right now, men's soccer's in halftime, 0-0 over in St. Charles. That is live on ESPN. You can click up and make that a extra page on ESPN. You can have up to 3 concurrent streams all at the same time. Women's volleyball is a doubleheader. They will host Moorhead State tomorrow at 6 and Saturday at 2. And then men's soccer is headed to Lynchburg, Virginia to play Liberty. The last time those teams will meet unless they see each other in the playoffs, as Liberty's headed to the Southern Conference.
Lots of good stuff coming up for SIUE as well. We already told you about the men's soccer game. They'll have home volleyball for the Cougars. They'll have Little Rock in town here tomorrow night and Saturday. And then SIUE men will head to Southern Indiana on Sunday. That's actually a doubleheader for women's soccer on Sunday at USI. They've got men's and women's there between SIUE and Southern Indiana. That's all of that we just showed you. You can get on ESPN. So that is the benefit, of course, of finding it all in one single place. In fact, you can find all of ESPN college soccer, but not just college soccer, college football, college volleyball, college field hockey, all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider.
One of my favorite things about being here in the Ohio Valley Conference, you can watch as much Ohio Valley Conference action as you want, as long as there are not more than 3 games going on at the same time, at which point you got to really hope that everybody's
creative,
syncing up their
That's
break
right.
schedules. Roundabout ready for second half of play here from Cordy Stadium. Still 0-0 now between both SIUE and Lindenwood men's and women's soccer rosters. I'm wondering how quick Lindenwood is about to kick off their second half. Have they already done so? Talk about being synced up. Oh,
it's like somebody's watching, well, besides us, because we also have the other stream up here, but it is that close.
It's like the game ops teams are sitting with walkie-talkies.
The women are going to have a little advantage because we've kicked off here, but the men not quite in St. Charles yet.
Somebody's got 40 or 50-mile walkie-talkies and is syncing up things
right.
near
They're
perfectly.
They're talking to one another here.
Again, we appreciate our game ops team. not only here at SIUE, but really the game up squads across the Ohio Valley Conference.
People don't realize how much of a team effort it is all the way around. This is Defini now for the Cougars, looking to get it to Naroda there before it was knocked away.
Good forced body off the ball there by Jessica Dodd, just not allowing Defini any space.
Babb just lost it out over this near sideline there.
I didn't see what happened. Her body was hidden behind the Lindenwood bench. Looked like she just got caught by the turf monster.
He's unforgiving. Or she.
I was about to say, turf monster could be a woman.
Could be a she, you're right. Defini with a little give and go, trying to free up some space. Lots of speed there from Naroda. This is Boomiller putting it near the back post. And they keep it in, the Cougars do, but they couldn't bring it back, trying to get it back out there to Mary Claire Imig.
Dead sprint, I think, from Elena Hauser on that far side as well, just making sure it stayed in play, but the hunt for a shooting opportunity just wasn't there.
Now Lindenwood trying to turn that into a counter of its own. This one will come across the 6, but it's knocked away there by Zakella.
Another staunch hold for Anna Zakella individually in the SIUE back four, forcing an error.
And we don't mention enough that Anna Zakella is a freshman, a true freshman, who has been asked to play, arguably one of the most important positions on the field in a center back position, and has started every game for the Cougars this year in that spot.
Wouldn't be surprised if that's the same case there for Lindenwood as well. Missed opportunity there, missed shot, I'll specify, as we had that same conversation with head coach Dave Musso, where the only real loss for him was his center back. Elise Lamb, the other true freshman of Wentzville, Missouri, has taken up the center back role on that side as well. And impressively for her, she's the only center back. Zakella has some help alongside Audrey Roberts, and they have started every game alongside each other. That's not the case for Lamb. This will be a corner, by the way, if it goes out.
When you look at the roster that Lindenwood has, it is largely St. Louis, Metro East. That is largely what has made up this roster for their head coach, Dave Musso.
Not only that, but it's young players from the St. Louis area, Metro East. Because they made that transition from Division II, they didn't want to rely on transfer players, especially in this new day and age of college sports. So they went with young players. Last year, he said 19 of 25 players were freshmen or sophomore. This year,
let that sink in, though,
that is
19 of 25.
All but 6 were in their first 2 years of college.
Yep.
And I do not believe any of them were red shirts.
And making, not only on their first year of college, but making that transition from Division II to Division I. By the way, good fact, Dave Musso went to Quincy, which is another very good soccer program, a D2 soccer program. He played his last game right here on this field against SIUE when he was a player at Quincy.
Deja vu all over again.
That's right. So,
well, for Musso, he said, like I said, 19 of 25 last year. He lost 1 player to anything other than graduating. That means of those 19 of 25, he now has carried 18 of them over into being sophomores and juniors. And you and I had this conversation transitioning from Division I or into Division I. You need to be able to hold on to as many players as you can, especially if you've had a successful year. It was such an impressive year for Lindenwood across all of their athletics, including very much women's soccer, winning the Ohio Valley Conference, and trying to take that as momentum here to where they are today.
4 minutes gone here in this second half as Lindenwood makes its push here early on. That is Lamb putting that right back into the mix for the Lions.
Roberts to head that one out. Finally, Zakella loses a header, but it's to her teammate.
And then put right back in over the top by Schrumpf. It'll come all the way back for Bozeman, and she'll have a chance to reset things there.
Looked like Schrumpf was aiming for Sydney Lane, but Lane was a little late getting back onside. She raised her arm like, I was kind of off. Can't even go for that one. Good idea, just slightly out of position. Misplay by Fishering, 2 awkward touches.
She's got, really, that was just desperation trying to get back, get some space there after, you're right, after the 2 tough touches there.
Offside. Told you, a little slow getting back into position. prophetic, maybe? I hate to pat
Perhaps.
myself. I hate to pat myself on the back like that, but I said this earlier. I'll take advantage of when I'm right. It doesn't happen very often.
So the free kick upcoming for the Cougars. That was the first offside call of the game, by the way. That one pulled down by Rogenkamp. And Lindenwood trying to make a push again. Speaking of push, that'll be an SIUE foul. It'll give Lindenwood. No?
She poked the ball free.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing, and I saw the ball squirt out behind him.
So it is just a throw, yep.
It's a good step with the lower body. That's where you kind of place your hip as you're stepping in with your foot. That time, however.
That one will. And they are certainly keying on Compton, not letting her get comfortable. And so there's that fine line, right? You want her to be uncomfortable. You want her to feel some pressure, but you got to try to do it without, correct. You got to try to do it without picking up the foul there.
If you're going to foul her, right at about the third line is about the place you want to do it.
It's a good ball right into the 6. It's headed away, and SIUE can make a run. Boo Miller on the right side. She'll cut it back in for DeFeeney. DeFeeney just went right at Jessica Dodd. Cougars aren't done yet, though. This is Naroda.
She didn't realize she had Naroda right next to her.
Boo Miller on the right. Little step over. Boo Miller into the box. She'll put one in. It's blocked away partially.
Good speed for Boo Miller, tracking back, not allowing this transition to materialize, at least forcing an extra player to get by.
And there again is Anna Zakella.
If I had a nickel for every time I said her name, or you said her name from
right
up here.
And now a takeaway. Coming the other way is Johnson. Anna Johnson hit the shot, and it's blocked away, out of play. It'll be a corner. It was Roberts getting back to step in front of that shot.
I do feel bad. As soon as I said every time we say Zakella's name, she loses the ball. Lindenwood racking up yet another corner kick in a game that has been virtually nothing but corner kicks. That is the 14th corner of the game. And we are 7 and some change into the second half. Rachel Jackson will take yet again.
And she's still got Johnson right there with her.
They just really want us to say one of their names wrong, I think.
Yeah, seriously. It is asking for it if you're in our position. Jackson and Johnson. And it's coming back this way for Anna Johnson. She'll keep it moving. And now SIUE has a chance to pull it back out. This is Schrumpf. Schrumpf. Nice feed, and they'll touch it right back out. Johnson's going to dump it right across the 18-yard box. Babb got a tough touch on it, and it's taken away. Rogenkamp couldn't get a clean shot. We've seen a lot of just, like, almost and what ifs. Like, if there's a clean shot, if there's a more clear clearance. You know, there's a couple of those that have happened on both sides tonight.
Welcome to most 0-0 soccer
Yeah, no,
games.
you're right. That's a really good point.
Ooh, that one goes right by. Bozeman dove over the ball. Even if she was in the right area, I think she would have ended up on top of it. One thing that SIUE was yelling, or more specifically Derek Burton was yelling, as SIUE was trying to exit out of their back line, was at Zoe Boomiller to force pressure on the ball. Don't allow the space of Lindenwood to reset as they were transitioning from that corner back into the same area. They wanted Boomiller to shut that down. She wasn't there in time. It gave that opportunity on a couple of occasions for Lindenwood. And again, they will foul Mackenzie Compton. I don't think I've seen an individual fouled more this season at Cordy Stadium.
Yeah, they're really, really keying in on
now
Mackenzie Compton.
In all fairness, she's touched the ball probably the most of any player on Lindenwood. So maybe it's pure numbers as to she's been around the ball, so she's going to be fouled because she's around the ball.
Valid, but as we mentioned, it's the freshman of the year in the OVC last year. She was the tournament MVP. There's a reason that she has the reputation that she does, because she's earned it.
She's earned a fair few free kicks. I count at least 4. off the top of my head.
Allison Schrump, she is a junior out of Pattonville High School.
There's another header won by Zakella.
Oh, DeFeeney undercut there by Rachel Jackson.
Seems like Jackson even takes the brunt of it. She has not stood back up. DeFeeney was ready to move on and play the free kick.
Now, Derek Burton is making a case there that DeFeeney could have essentially had a break had she been able to win possession right there.
I wouldn't say that's really a reckless challenge. So, if anything, you're arguing for stopping a promising attack. Just a thought into the mind of the referee. Stopping a promising attack. How much speed? How much space? How many options?
Right.
Decent speed. Not a whole lot of space.
And where it's at, right?
If you're inside past midfield, that's probably a yellow.
Right.
But she did not have a whole lot of options as well. You're 50-50 on space. That's probably not a yellow. That's a very good conversation with Rachel Jackson, though, of, hey, you are very close to the border. Please don't do that again.
Right. Lindenwood going to try to get something started again. Compton couldn't turn it that time. Schrump with a quick throw in from the far sideline. Spent a lot of time at the other end if you are SIUE in this second half. And a great slide right there by Rachel Jackson to take this one away. Up the right sideline, ran away from Compton, out over the sideline, and it'll be an SIUE throw.
Good win up the left side for Hauser just to keep it in play. Hauser now has a chance to move on with it, but too heavy of a touch in the air, just a reset all the way back to Ritter. Looking on how SIUE came out after the second half, by the way, they are exactly as they started, which is usually the case for the Cougars when they make substitutions in the first half.
Little step over there from Kaylee Canoyer, and she was able to keep it for a moment till it's knocked out of play. It'll be a throw for Lindenwood right about midfield. Lamb will bring it up a bit and only to be pulled back.
I told you, 3 or 4 yards. She got towards different color grass and shut her down.
That was like she had the fishing line on her back, too. It was like, reel it back in here. And she just backed it up. It's Dodd heading that one this way.
Trying to figure out what Dodd was aiming for there. It looked like there was supposed to be somebody there for the Lions, and they just did not find the target they were aiming for. And seemingly an early substitution on the cards for the Lions, by the way. This one will stay in play.
Now look at that, stay right. It just rolled right along that near side touchline there. DeFeeney fighting for it. She'll give it to Boomiller. Boomiller was hoping that she was going to be able to cut in, use her speed.
May still be able to use her defense.
Truth. She does win a throw for SIUE.
Nah, they're saying it went off of her. She
all
slid.
right.
Lindenwood will win the throw and earn their substitute, at least their substitution moment. Kylie Peel, she'll re-enter after the tail end of the first half. She'll take over for Kaylee Canoyer. Maybe Canoyer got the brunt of impact. She'll have a quick visit with the training staff of Lindenwood.
This is Naroda. Now Imig. Open up a little space. Maybe thinking about switching it up. Fishering's going to come back to this side now.
Lewis was trying to play a quick ball to DeFeeney. Didn't get a touch on it. Sometimes you can be too fancy.
Naroda, though, will bring it down. Claire Naroda, and she has it taken away. Jackson again defending for the Lions.
Really good slide across Naroda. She doesn't go through the player. She goes in front. Wins the ball. Stays in front of the player. Yeah, Claire Naroda falls over because she made contact with the player, but it didn't become dangerous. There weren't cleats to a body. It was a good slide tackle. Good for the ball as well.
Nice little flick right there by Naroda. Trying to play in DeFeeney again. And here's a shot from long distance. Just a little bit off target. It came from Lewis. Half an hour to play in this second half.
By the way, Ritter picked that ball up. Everybody's backing up like it's a goal kick. Ritter still has the ball in her hands. It's wondering why she was walking up. Then I realized she's got control.
Right. Naroda pulls it down for SIUE. Right into Defini. Again, we've talked about Defini's ability with her back to goal. Oh, and that one is just taken away. Good anticipation there initially by Ava Blum. And then the foul will keep it with Lindenwood.
Is officially SIUE surpassing their game average as well. And it did not take that
That's a dubious accomplishment, right? Men's game remains scoreless between SIUE and Lindenwood. But see, I shouldn't have to say that because they've got their double streams up, right? They're watching both streams, yeah.
And
they should have a free stream available.
There's still more Ohio Valley Conference action going on. UT Martin is in the middle of a game against Little Rock. If you'd like to see some more women's soccer across the Ohio Valley Conference, a reminder, you can watch as many as 3 active ESPN streams at the same time. I slightly exploit that so I can watch as much Ohio Valley Conference action as I please.
Inside of 29 now. This one's a little bit past Defini, so Lamb back to take it for the Lions. No, another push here. Racing on is Rogan Camp, and she lost it.
Good win by Zakella, making sure she took a step straight through the ball, win it and hold on to it.
Here comes Babb this side. Babb across the midfield. Taylor Babb.
They're looking for Boo Miller.
Over the top it goes. Boo Miller just got it with a shoulder. It was just a tad behind her. Babb's going to just put it right to the top. Look at that little redirection from Defini. Lewis for Naroda. Naroda trying to get it on her right, or on her left, rather.
Defini does it again.
And Lewis has some room now. Can she get it to her right? Instead, just Naroda getting a shot away that was blocked.
Oh, and Naroda actually came back and blocked a clearance.
They're coming down the left side now. Right back in. Again, Defini with a little flick on there. This time she turns it around, and it's out of play for a goal kick.
And that should allow the re-entry of Tasneem Dizdarovic as well. But a couple opportunities, really all created by Savannah Defini. And Defini, when she does that, she looks like a center midfielder. But with the way SIUE plays, if she played center midfield, they wouldn't have those opportunities because she's turning the ball back towards players who are already in a good position. Missed opportunity, oh my goodness, Lindenwood. Unforced error, free throw, earned by SIUE. I wouldn't even say earned by SIUE, to be honest with you.
Gifted to the Cougars.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Boo Miller did put some speed behind it. That's about it.
So Babb for Naroda, a little flick on for Lewis. Across for Imig. Ooh, she tried to cut it back to her right, and she lost it. Here comes Lindenwood pushing the other way. Rachel Jackson leading the charge out. Pushing it ahead now for Johnson. Anna Johnson wants to cut this back to her right. Johnson will serve it across the box. Far side there, it's Sutter. Sutter couldn't get anything real behind it, but it's not out of the woods yet. Dizdarovic, and that one is just over the goal. It was on, I think. Was that Jackson again?
Mackenzie Compton.
Mackenzie Compton.
Compton was in that area the entire time. She got skipped on 3 passes and was waiting for the ball. Dizdarovic finally gave her a good opportunity for it, but it looked like it bounced just above where she wanted to just put down a line drive, and it floated on her. Another good opportunity for Lindenwood, and good patience from them as well. They had a really good counterattacking opportunity, didn't rush it. There's no reason to rush a shot there when you still have the numbers. SIUE a little slow on a retreat could have cost them a lot more than just a shot over the goal.
Shots now are 12-6 in favor of Lindenwood. We only have a combined 3 shots on goal tonight. 2 from Lindenwood, 1 from the Cougars.
And to be honest with you, I cannot remember when the SIUE Cougar shot came on. I'm very surprised that's a foul, by the way. That Elena Hauser has been robbed. And in all fairness, Derek Burton thinks it should have been a foul on Rachel Jackson, who has not stood up. She was involved in the collision earlier with Defini. It was Jackson who was called for the foul and then didn't get up. This time it's Hauser who's called for the foul, and Jackson still doesn't get up all that quickly. Doesn't look like Lindenwood is prepping a sub for her. However, Olivia Watt is waiting at midfield for the next substitution opportunity for the Cougars. The clock stopped at 25:16 remaining in the second half.
That restart coming right from the center dot. Lindenwood, Compton didn't have a turn there on the shot. Yep. It was Peel who did get a partial shot away there. Not much anything behind it. There is a foul. This will be against Lindenwood, so the Cougars will take it back the other way with just inside of 25 minutes to play here in the second half.
Sutter's trying to say, hey, I went shoulder to shoulder with her. She was the one who initiated contact. But that's more shoulder to sternum and probably did not feel good if you're Allie Fishering. Certainly a helpful foul call to allow the Cougars to get out of their own defensive third.
Coming this way is Imig. Babb will play it back over the top now for the Cougars. Too far out in front for Defini to get to it. Lewis puts it back in the mix. There's Defini again. Look at the flick this time for Boomiller. And Boomiller couldn't hang on to it. It's out of play for a goal kick. Subs for SIUE and Lindenwood perhaps. Well, Lindenwood will wait.
I don't think, Lindenwood was not checked in by the goal kick.
Moore and Watt will come back on for SIUE. Taryn Moore, Olivia Watt return for the Cougars.
The two Claires exit. Mary Claire Imig and Claire Naroda. Makes life easy.
Nicely done.
I wonder how they communicate which Claire they're talking about. Because I feel like Mary Claire's going to respond to Claire as well, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I really have no idea what. It's hard to know what names exist, including nicknames. We have a graduate assistant who is a starter, a longtime player for SIUE women's soccer. Her name's Mary Fetter, and she goes by Chuck. Now, she told me the whole story, but that's it. She goes by Chuck. Like, so, you know, it would not be anything. If you heard somebody addressing Chuck, you wouldn't be looking for a Mary to answer to that, but she does indeed.
SIUE just won a throw, and Hannah Zakela put her arms up because she absolutely just fouled again Mackenzie Compton. And somehow SIUE doesn't only not get called for the foul, they also get the throw in. And Compton is not thrilled that she's been fouled again. That time it was Audrey Roberts. That is at least 5.
It goes back to, though, what Dave Musso told us in the same thing is that you don't have that target on your back last year. They peaked at the right time. They knew going into this year you're going to have a target on your back because of winning the tournament, because of the way that you finished out the season. Everybody is going to give you their best shot. Well, if you are freshman of the year, tournament MVP, guess what? You're going to get a lot of attention from defenses across the league. That one is hit wide, right foot shot from Johnson.
Especially when you're playing in a midfield position where you get the ball on a very consistent basis. Not only is she a dangerous player, period, she's a dangerous player who is getting the ball very often. Now, she won't for the next few minutes because she just got subbed off. She just exited the bottom left of your frame there. That is a big part of Lindenwood's offense that has not only turned into very good counterattacking opportunities, but she's converted a couple foul calls as well, just to give them possession. Couple opportunities for Lindenwood, by the way. 10 foul calls against SIUE, and at least 5 of them have been fouls that Mackenzie Compton has taken the brunt of.
Far side, this is Canoyer, who just came back into the game for the Lions.
Great reset with a 3 back here for Lindenwood.
Lamb, now Dodd. And she'll work it outside for Schrumpf.
Oh, maybe not.
And Schrumpf almost lost it. They'll keep it. Dodd will backtrack until she can turn it around.
Good touch on to Taryn Moore by Elena Hauser.
Moore trying to get it to Boomiller. Boomiller had to push in there, and now she's got it as the Cougars win it back. Boomiller looking for something. Puts it at the head of DeFeeney. It's loose at the 6, and DeFeeney couldn't get to it. Ritter came way off her line. This is Lewis now trying to dump it back in the box. Here's Watt. Watt hits it high.
Another case for SIUE of adrenaline getting the best of a shooting opportunity. Olivia Watt oversends it. Great opportunity created by Zoe Boomiller, though. They were looking for DeFeeney. It looked like it went over the head of DeFeeney, fell at the feet of a Lindenwood defender, and Caroline Ritter's like, who in the world is Houdini inside my penalty area? Where did the ball go? She was looking around like it had fallen off the face of the earth, and it kind of felt like it did. There was another opportunity for Elena Hauser, who was on the back post. If Ritter didn't get there and the Lindenwood defender didn't pull a card trick out of a hat, SIUE probably would have had a goal because it was empty.
They get it back to Boomiller. She tried to flick it up to Moore, and it's taken away by Jackson. Lindenwood will backtrack through its back three.
Who's the magic major?
Yeah,
Back three for Lindenwood.
That's a good question.
And since when did they start offering magic majors post-secondary universities?
I would have been all over that. Little tap back there. It's a dangerous ball played back in by Zakella, but Bozeman played it well, at least to get rid of it, get it out of danger there. Here's Schrumpf sending it right back in over the top for Lindenwood. And now it's the Lions. This is Jackson again. No, check it. That was not Jackson. That was Kylie Peel out there. And, boy, that one just was smoked back across the end line.
Would not have mattered, by the way. She was well offside.
And that was Jackson who delivered that last pass.
Hatfield will re-enter. Ava Blum off to give her way. Now, you said Bozeman played it well. Really anything for Bozeman that did not end up in the back of her own net
you're exactly
is
right.
playing it well.
That is a valid point, because at that point, you are just trying to get it out of the area.
They say something along the lines of there's a very low bar for quality, and still it's a quality play for Bozeman.
Desdarovich, a nice job to hang on to that ball.
And really impressive from Lindenwood. As soon as Desdarovich does so, allow her to get back in position. Don't force the ball forward when you don't have the space to do so.
And one of the things that Derek Burton was preaching right there, as that ball came back towards the back line of Lindenwood, he was yelling at his players to get out, push that line up, push your own back line high.
That's what he was saying to Zoe Boomiller earlier on in this one, just trying to make sure that SIUE clears out of position. I told you that player was offside earlier when would have turned into a goal kick. They had an offside call earlier as well because the SIUE line pushed up heavily. That can continue. If it does, it's a very good spot for SIUE. Forced errors based off of infractions. Don't even have to get fouled, just force a player to be offside. Either A, don't give them the space, force them to reset and maybe gain possession that way, or if they do play it that way, you'll happily take an indirect free kick.
This will be for the Cougars.
Just barely over the line, it seems, on that far side. Desdarovich, it feels like, as soon as Compton was subbed off, kind of took Compton's role, even though she wasn't the sub for her.
Another opportunity here for the Lions. And a cut back to her right, and it's just high from Johnson.
Really well-timed cutback. And speaking of Compton, Mackenzie Compton will re-enter. Took all of 14 seconds.
So this was
feels.
a short, yeah, literally just a breather.
Maybe 5 minutes. It certainly was not
details, right?
Long-winded. Semantics are overrated. Anna Johnson will be the player she replaces.
Now, see, I would bet that it's going to be similar for Johnson. She's not going to be out very long.
I would not imagine she is. She has been another massive factor of the front. I don't even know what you would call it for Lindenwood. Technically front two, but it's been a rotating front two, front seven, if you will. But that's a good percentage of their field players.
Ask Sarah Bozeman if it didn't feel like a front seven at some point. Here's Compton again. Compton trying to cut it back to her left. She played it in the middle. There was nobody there, but it's not out of danger yet. Jackson. Desdarovich got ahead to it. And it'll run out of play near sideline. Throw in coming up here.
It's a missed exit opportunity for Olivia Watt. Really rushed her touch when she didn't have pressure on her and lost the opportunity to play out of the back. That SIUE's been focusing on that quality of playing out of the back. We saw it against Western. We really haven't seen it today because of the pressure put on by Lindenwood.
Compton to the end line. She ran into Taylor Babb right there on the end line. They both end up on the ground. They both get up fairly quick, and it's a throw coming up for Lindenwood.
Compton let the ball get a little further in front of her than she was expecting. Babb just tried to jump over it so a corner wasn't forced, and thus they both ended up on the ground.
Kylie Peel, the Edwardsville native, with that throw-in, by the way. I said this roster is just absolutely stuffed with St. Louis and St. Louis players. Metro East, Metro West, if you will, Wentzville, O'Fallon.
Including.
It is a really, really local roster.
Including both of the players currently standing over this free kick. Dizdarevic played for Bosnia and Herzegovina, but a local of St. Louis.
Yep, she's out of Gateway in the city.
Rachel Jackson from O'Fallon.
And it comes right on. That ball was ripped by Dizdarevic. I mean, it didn't miss by much, and it had just enough lift on it, Dan, to put it over the goal instead of under the crossbar.
It went straight over, but it went straight over by maybe feet.
For sure.
And that could be an overestimation. Dizdarevic put that so well on. As soon as it reached its peak, it really did not fall because it wasn't losing speed. Little too much speed sometimes can be a factor. Dizdarevic missed, but not by all that much. That's arguably one of the best opportunities we've seen in the game.
Yep, she drilled it, no question of it. This one coming down. Compton's going to hit it, and that just misses.
Those are the two best opportunities we may have seen in this game.
Back-to-back shots like that are just off the mark.
Can somebody strap an EKG to Sarah Bozeman, please? Purely out of curiosity. I want to know what her heart rate is. I can't imagine it's anything below 150. That is nerve-wracking to understate the least.
She needs the goal kick just to bring it back down, right? Just to take a couple of breaths, and she's not going to get much because it comes right down to the feet of Knoyer, who gets things started again for Lindenwood. And another good pass there by Vasilov. This is Compton trying to turn. Compton to the top of the 18. They can't get a shot away, and it's taken away. And another opportunity stuffed out by the Cougars.
Maybe Taryn Moore and Audrey Roberts had a miscommunication. They could have cleared that a lot easier, and they didn't.
Fishering now one-on-one with Compton. It comes out for Watt, and Watt finally clears it out over the sideline.
Looked like Compton's follow-through got Fishering. That's why she was pleading for the foul, but the ball was well gone, and Compton was the one who won it.
12.5 minutes to play. That is out for a corner for Lindenwood.
Game-leading 8th for Lindenwood, but it's the 15th between the two teams. Remember, we had 13 at halftime, 14 7 or so minutes into the second half. It's a first corner in forever and a day, it seems, compared to what we started off this game with.
Two near the corner spot, as per usual, that we've seen tonight from Lindenwood.
And it's the same two.
And they keep this one on the ground. Look at the touch and the shot off the side. Just missed wide. There wasn't a touch on that shot as the Cougars bring back on Claire Naroda and Mary Claire Emig. Taryn Moore and Olivia Watt will come off.
Same 2 in and 2 out for SIUE. A really good shift put in by both Watt and Moore, just making sure that the midfield can now breathe. The real problem point for SIUE, especially in these last few goal kicks, Sarah Bozeman will tell you, they haven't won a bunch of 50-50 balls, and they really need to.
We're inside the final 12 here, still scoreless. The longer it goes that way, the worse it gets. You feel like it just takes a single opportunity to change the fate of this game. Still a scoreless game in St. Charles between the Lindenwood and SIUE men.
Compton again winning a ball up that right side, just giving so much space for Lindenwood to build.
Good overlap right there. That's going to run right to the corner. It stays in play. Vasilov puts it right into the 6.
That was a great time to take a look at our series history. It is presented by ServPro, the official restoration services partner of the Ohio Valley Conference. This is only the 6th meeting between these two teams this century. Overall, they've met a total of 19 times, and this will be the 20th to possibly decide an extra victory for SIUE, maybe just a third tie between the two of them. I'm a little surprised they've only met 6 times.
Well, for a long time, you have to remember, though, for a long time, SIUE had been Division I, while Lindenwood was Division II. Before that, when SIUE was Division II, Lindenwood was actually an NAIA institution as well. So they've sort of moved differently through those various divisions, and I think that's why it's an even shorter history when you look at some of the other sports at SIUE.
It's a game of complex hopscotch between
it has been
conferences, associations, and divisions inside those associations.
I think now the cool thing is you're talking about the larger variety of Division I athletics within the St. Louis area when you add in Lindenwood, when you add in SIUE. Those are two schools that, you know, weren't there 20 years ago, weren't part of the Division I landscape 20 years ago.
Good space by Dizdarevic. Even better win by Taylor Babb.
And by the way, now you're talking about two successful athletic programs in Division I.
In a mid-major where they're building up through a very, a quality mid-major conference as they're building their own programs as well.
Naroda trying to poke that through. This one to the end line, and it's shielded out of play. And that's a real smart play there by Elena Hauser because she recognized that was going to be a corner.
It was, hey, let me play the ball turned away from the goal and have no options, or let me shield the ball out of play and earn a corner kick. And conveniently for SIUE, she's the one who would be taking this corner kick anyway. Not a single player from SIUE, apart from Sarah Bozeman, is more than 30 yards away from a Lindenwood goal. And that may be an over-exaggeration and something you don't like to see. That's Zoe Boomiller currently being approached by our center official for the evening, Jarvis Atanaga. It looks like Boomiller will be replaced by Aaliyah Meinhardt.
So Jalen Javens is the SIU athletic trainer. She meets her coming off the field there, but Boomiller had kind of squatted down, and that is what got the center official's attention and caused them to go over and see what the issue might be.
In the process, Lily Suter, by the way, re-enters. Kaylee Knoyer is the person she took off. Knoyer cannot re-enter at this point in the game.
So here's the corner to the 6, headed out by Peel for Lindenwood.
You can hear the verbal displeasure of Cougar fans directly in front of us.
On the bench. There was a pretty loud yell from the bench. That one's coming in through the 6, and out to get it is Ritter.
Meinhardt had an opportunity at that one. If Ritter even bobbled it, that was going to the back of the net as well. But that's an opportunity for SIUE. Really created off of Fishering there on the side. Fishering, albeit she was well off balance, a small breeze would have knocked her over. So the foul calls, I don't blame them, however, probably not warranted in the grand scheme of things.
Compton leaving it to the outside for Peel. Kylie Peel dropping it back now. This is Lamb. Peel again. Little pressure. Peel trying to work around Babb. Babb trying to keep this one on the sideline. They didn't clear it yet, although that was not played in very well by Hatfield.
Something awkward for SIUE is because Meinhardt is now taking the right side of the field. She usually replaces Elena Hauser on the left, or usually actually replaces Amanda Dean on the left, but because Elena Hauser's on the left, she can't even replace Elena Hauser. Zoe Boomiller is exited, and they haven't had the pressure up the right side they wanted with Boomiller. They finally did, and then Boomiller gets injured, and now they have to not re-coach that, but reinstill that now into Alina Meinhardt.
7:20 to play as Lindenwood pushes. Compton with pressure, and it's dumped out of play. Well, eventually it'll get out of play. It does on the sideline. Peel will throw again. She was an Edwardsville Tiger before going to become a Lindenwood Lion.
I feel like that's got to be some traitorous activity, right?
There's a couple of former Edwardsville players on the roster. There's a good shot, and it's right off the corner. It hit the crossbar and or post, and it's not done yet, and that one just sneaks out of play.
Bozeman was in a good position to deal with anything that would be inside the goal. That was as close as it could have been at reaching the top corner without actually making it in the back of the net. Bozeman, again, a nerve-wracking opportunity that sails just over her. In that case, sailed right back in front of her off the crossbar. Nearly a rebound opportunity to score. Lindenwood will be watching that one back thinking, how in the world?
That was Desdarovich, by the way, but yes. There's been a couple tonight. 3 in this half alone that have been
near guarantees.
Just narrow misses, correct. Like, as close as you get without it making a, hitting the back of the net. Foul on Jessica Dodd. Dodd started her college career at Eastern Kentucky, by the way, but she is from St. Louis area. Went to Marquette High School in Baldwin, it's in Chesterfield. Her hometown is Baldwin. So free kick coming for the Cougars. It is Zakella to take it for SIUE as we get into 5.5 now to play. Low drive through the box. Half-hearted shot is out for a goal kick.
Good idea for Aaliyah Meinhardt, but there's no real opportunity for that to get on net. Your best possible option there is a corner kick. I would have liked to see Meinhardt play something like DeFini has done a couple times today. Keep space while facing away from the goal. Find a teammate who's in the right vicinity and play it to them if you can.
Final 5 minutes here in Edwardsville. Will one of these two teams find the break that they need? That's Imig fighting for it. Compton taking it away. Compton ending up on ground. And the Cougars trying to take advantage to push the other way.
I think somebody's about to get a yellow card. Referee's pointing at somebody.
So he's already, you think it's from a play that's already happened?
Yes.
Okay.
He may be playing advantage.
Right.
But that is hey, I'm not going to stop play for advantage. But he's pointing at somebody. Somebody's getting a yellow.
Zakella got her head to that. Zakella battling right there, and back to take it away is Imig as they play it through the middle. Here's DeFini for Naroda. Well, I thought she had a better step on it, but Meinhardt does have some room. She'll play it across, looking for Hauser, who comes back to get it.
Good win by Hauser, and good way to slow things down for SIUE. No need to rush through this. Now you got some space in the midfield. Imig, not the greatest of first touches on a difficult ball to receive.
Final 4 minutes of play here in Edwardsville. 0-0. Lindenwood with an advantage in shots, 18-8. And the shots on goal remain 2-1. Peel able to pull that one away for Lindenwood. She'll play it ahead for Blum. This is Blum. Ava Blum trying to cross. Babb knocked it down, and then Babb deflected that shot, I think.
Guess not.
I thought she blocked that shot from Anna Johnson, too.
Oh, I thought somebody was getting a yellow card.
Yeah.
Turns out they were not. It maybe the referee was indicating that somebody got the ball and then was continuing a conversation with the player. But I've seen many a time where somebody says something or somebody does something that otherwise would not be a stoppage in play but should be a yellow card. So identify the player and then punish it later. It was not the case here. Awkward play for Roberts. It just went right off of her.
It did, and here comes Lily Sutter the other way.
Great step.
Tried to get it out to Compton, couldn't do it. Instead, SIUE will try to turn it into a counter with 2:35 to play here in this game. And then on the other end, it's a good defensive step from Lindenwood. Here come the Lions down the right side. Compton right through the middle. This one coming across. The shot was blocked at the last second. Might have been one you want to let go through to Bozeman, but
I'm not sure if Bozeman would have been the first one there. It was a great block by Babb. It otherwise would have gotten all the way to Anna Johnson. And
you think it's getting all the way?
I think so. I'm not sure if Bozeman was off of her line in time or stepping off. I didn't see her, so I can't speak to that specifically. But Zakella had an amazing turn as well as soon as Babb touched it down.
2 minutes to play. This one's coming out to the near sideline. Racing after it
Student body right for the Cougars.
is Lamb. Elise Lamb. That one's going to bounce out of play for an SIUE throw with 1:35 and counting.
Clock will stop for the more than likely final sub of this affair. Meinhardt off, Bowmiller back on. Seems like she is all right for the final 90 seconds of play.
Lewis got a big swing at that.
That's still in play.
Skates on the sideline. It finally does get out. It'll be an SIUE throw with 82 seconds to play. They feed it all the way to the corner, hoping that Boomiller could run it down. In fact, she cannot. Dodge shields it out of play to allow Ritter a goal kick as we get to the final minute coming up here. Wow, that's a tough ball, too. That's out of play with a minute left.
Seen that a couple times. Cougars will take it every day of the week.
Babb with a quick throw.
Dizdarovich again, a great header on.
This is Johnson. They keep it on the sideline. Babb will boot it out over the sideline. Lindenwood trying to make a last push here as Kylie Peel chucks it in for the Lions. It's going out again with 25 seconds to play. Compton couldn't turn it. Gets a second effort, goes to the top of the box. Couldn't get a shot off right there.
10.
Johnson back for Peel. Peel will shoot it way wide. It came off the end of her foot or the outside. This goes right on to Bozeman. Bozeman can just smother it. And time will run out on this one. SIUE and Lindenwood play to a scoreless draw here in Edwardsville as the coaches shake hands, the players shake hands. A lot of these players know each other outside of this rivalry, but a rivalry it definitely is.
And a lot of these players have known each other for multiple years playing in club ball as well. A couple Scott Gallagher products on both sides, a couple St. Louis Developmental Academy products on both sides, a couple Lou Fuse players as well. Don't tell the Scott Gallagher players on that front. But there's a big background because both of these squads are largely recruited from the greater St. Louis area. And Dave Musso, I feel like he's very pleased with how his recruits turned full second and third year players have played here in Edwardsville, Illinois.
Both teams earn a point here in OVC play. Lindenwood now 5-4-4, 2-2-1 in the OVC. SIUE is 2-9-3. They go to 1-2-2 in the Ohio Valley Conference. Well, SIUE goes on the road for a Sunday game. They'll be at USI. Meanwhile, Lindenwood is on the road at Western Illinois to finish off its weekend. Tonight, they split the points, the Cougars and the Lions. We'll talk to you next here from Edwardsville from volleyball tomorrow night. It's SIUE and Little Rock tomorrow and Saturday here from Edwardsville. This one's scoreless, and now for our entire ESPN Plus crew, for my partner Daniel Rodier, I'm Joe Pott, saying so long from Cordy Stadium in Edwardsville, where the final score tonight is 0-0 between SIUE and Lindenwood. All games airing on the ESPN network are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. So long for just a while.